Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Shri Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from chapter 9, text 12 from Bhagavad Gita. Moghasha mogha karmarno mogha jnana vichetasaha Rakshasim asurim chaiva Prakritim mohinim shritaha Moghasha mogha karmarno mogha jnana vichetasaha Rakshasim asurim chaiva Prakritim mohinim shritaha. Moghasha mogha karmarno mogha jnana vichetasaha Rakshasim asurim chaiva Rakshasim asurim Moghasha mogha karmarno mogha jnana vichetasaha Rakshasim asurim chaiva Prakritim mohinim shritaha. Moghasha mogha karmarno mogha jnana vichetasaha Rakshasim asurim chaiva Prakritim mohinim shritaha. Mogha ashaha, baffled in their hopes. Mogha karmarnaha, baffled in fruitive activities. Mogha jnanaha, baffled in knowledge. Vichetasaha, bewildered. Rakshasim, demonic. Asurim, atheistic. Cha, and. Eva, certainly. Prakritim, nature. Mohinim, bewildering. Shritaha, taking shelter of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Purport: there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity in Krishna and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demoniac cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication in this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, is always baffled. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brihad Vishnu Smriti clearly states, Yo veti bhautikam deham krishnasya paramatmanah sasarvasmad bahishkarya shrotasmarta vidhanatah mukham tasyavalokyapi sachelam snanamacharet. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after rebirth, after birth, in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to today's class. I hope I'll be able to say something useful with your blessings. So please kindly give me your blessings. So in the Bhagavad Gita, from chapters 1 to 6, the processes of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga are explained from chapter 1 to chapter 6. And Krishna was actually bewildered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra because he had to fight his own family. as we know, there were the Pandavas and the Kauravas on one side. The Pandavas. There was a great war between the family, and Arjuna had to fight his own family. So he was bewildered, and he gave 5 reasons why he didn't want to fight. One was compassion for all these souls that were gonna pass away. Then one of them was enjoyment. There would be no enjoyment coming out of this war, this great war that was useless. And one of the reasons was it would be very sinful actually to be killing grandfather Bhishma, to be killing them, and Dronacharya, his teacher. So he also said that one of the reasons he mentioned as well is that because this war would create a lot of death, there would be the women would become unprotected because all the men would die, and then from that unwanted progeny would come, and because the tradition would be lost. So he gave all these reasons, and he also one of the reasons was he was indecisive that what is better, to gain this kingdom by killing them, or to lose the battle and for them to gain the kingdom, and he then becomes a beggar. So yeah, basically in the first chapter it is explained these doubts are Arjuna exposes these doubts he has, and Krishna in the second chapter starts talking about the philosophy about Jnana Yoga. Then he talks about Buddhi Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, how to act, and then about Sthita Prajna, how to be situated in Krishna consciousness. He explained the symptoms of such a person. Then in third chapter, Karma Yoga is explained. Karma Yoga, like how to perform our activities without attachment. Nishkama Karma Yoga, how as well as how to act in Nishkama Karma Yoga to set the right example. There's this famous verse, whatever great man performs, common man follow. There is, so basically for a lot of the third chapter, that is explained. And then also fourth chapter, transcendental knowledge. So Krishna in the first 10 verses, it is the nature of Krishna is explained that he is actually not of this, his body is not material like ours. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti jorjuna. So one who understands the transcendental nature of Krishna's birth and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world. In the fourth chapter as well, it's explained the importance of approaching a spiritual master. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him and inquire from him submissively, because like the self-realized souls, they have seen the truth, and that's why they can share it also with us. And in fifth chapter, then Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, explained. Karma Yoga is further explained. Sixth chapter, Dhyana Yoga. So the Ashtanga Yoga process is explained. There is Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara, am I right? Pratyahara, Pranayam, Dharana, I missed one, right? Asana, then Dharana, Dhyana, and then Samadhi. So these are the 8 levels of yoga. And this was, in the previous ages, this used to be practiced. One would yama, one would control the senses, one would perform regulations, prohibited regulations and regulations that he should do. And then asana, you have to sit straight, otherwise you cannot focus properly. Then pranayam, controlling the breath. It's said that the breath is very much linked with the mind. After that, dharana, or starting of focus of meditation, dhyana, more a more advanced stage of focus, and then samadhi, complete focus in the absolute. And that's explained in the 6th chapter. But in this age, it is very difficult to perform this type of yoga, this dhyana yoga, because you have to first of all go into the forest. You have to sit on a specific kusha grass, and you have to close all the senses. You have to focus in the middle of your forehead, and put all the life airs there, and and focus on the super soul in the heart. And then in that way, if one practices this very rigorously, in previous ages that was how they would attain realization of Paramatma, or the localized aspect of Krishna. And yeah, at the end of the 6th chapter, it's interesting that Krishna says, let me just pull this up, text 47, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyukta tamo mataha. And of all the yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. So here we can see that it is a glimpse, Krishna is giving a glimpse to Bhakti Yoga, which is going to be explained in the further chapters. In chapter 7, which is called Knowledge of the Absolute, we learn how to practice devotional service to get faith in the process, faith in Krishna. Then chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme, is explained how by practicing this devotional service, throughout one's life, when we practice this devotional service to Krishna, at the end of life we are able to remember him, because it is said, was that verse, whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. I don't remember the tyajatyante kalevaram. Basically, it explains how if we remember Krishna at the time of death, then we will attain his eternal abode. But it is very difficult to remember him at that time, because if all our life we have been engaged in sensual activities, and we haven't been practicing this Krishna consciousness, then it's going to be very difficult. We're going to have a lot of attachments, and these attachments are going to they're not going to be able to make us remember Krishna. We'll be thinking about our family or our material possessions, and yeah, it will be very difficult. So in chapter 8, that's explained, this process, how to remember Krishna at death. And then chapter 9, from which we are reading today, is named the most confidential knowledge, or pure devotional service. So here in this chapter, bhakti is explained. What is pure devotional service, prema bhakti? And in the first three verses, it is explained who the qualifications and the disqualifications for one who to get this knowledge. So let me just what is verse here? Chapter 9. The Supreme Lord said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most secret wisdom, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." And then second verse, "This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed." Text 3, "Those who are not faithful on the path of devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of foes, but return to birth and death in this material world." So it is explained here that those who are non-envious of Krishna, those who do not want to have the position of Krishna, they can get this knowledge, this most secret wisdom. And it is the king of the education. Raja vidya raja guhyam pavitramidam uttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. So this is joyfully performed, this Bhakti Yoga. It is not that we might think that I have to give up sense gratification to be able to perform devotional service, and I'm going to not gain any happiness from this. But if it's properly performed, Krishna consciousness, then this susukam kartumavyam is performed with great happiness. And it also gives direct perception, pratyaksha, we can directly see this knowledge if we devote ourselves correctly. So then from verse 4 to 10, this is explained. It's Krishna's relationship with the material world is explained. I'm just going to read a bit. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Text 5. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, still myself is the very source of creation. As the mighty wind blowing everywhere always rests in ethereal space, know that in the same manner all beings rest in me. So yeah, all beings, we are jivas. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are parts and parcels of Krishna. We are servants of Krishna. We are qualitatively we are Atma. We are the same quality as Krishna, but we're not God. We are in quantity different. And it's like like the Mayavadis, they are the impersonalists. They think that we are actually God. That's what they think. They think that the after liberation is to merge into the existence of God, become God. But this is actually not supported by the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly see Krishna as a person, and he says, "Man mana bhava mad bhakto." Man mana, think of me. He doesn't say think of a personal Brahman, he says think of me. Man mana bhava mad bhakto, become my devotee. Matyaji mam namaskuru. Pay obeisances to me. Mami vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. So the one who always thinks of me, who becomes my devotee, he is very dear to me. So then, text 7. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation enters into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency I again create. Text 8. The whole cosmic order is under me. By my will it is manifested again and again, and by my will it is annihilated at the end. Text 9. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached, seated as though neutral. So when Krishna descends into this material world, 5,000 years ago, Krishna appeared in this form in Vrindavan. Common people may think that he was a common man like us. Obviously, his devotees knew he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they think that his activities are mundane and they're subject to karma. But here we can see that all this work cannot bind me. All his activities don't bind him. He is transcendental to this. Like we mentioned earlier already, Janma karma cheme divyam. His birth and activities are transcendental. So this is explained in text 9. Text 10. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So here we can see that this material nature is producing all living beings. So moving and non-moving, like trees, living entities. Like we are the moving beings. The trees are non-moving beings, and that is created by the modes of material nature. We are not this body. This body is just a combination of the modes of material nature, of the 8 elements of material nature. So earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And then the subtle one is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So that's what our covering that we get. when we fall from the spiritual world. And we have a mind, and we can control the mind by the intellect. So we must try to, with our intellect, put our mind and engage our mind and senses in proper actions. So we must understand that we don't know happiness from sense gratification, because these happinesses have a beginning and an end. And there's this verse, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya na te shuramate buddhaha. So the wise person does not partake in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. So our senses are always trying to get pleasure in some way, like our eyes want to see beautiful things, our ears want to hear nice things, we want to touch nice things, we want to smell nice fragrances, and we want to taste nice food. But if we use it for our sense gratification, then it will not bring us happiness, because they are temporary. Adyantavantah kaunteya. So adi, anta, so they have a beginning, an end. Vanta, that's the nature of those pleasures. Adi and anta, they have beginning and end. Nate shuramate buddhaha, so if a wise person does not engage in them. So yeah. Then text 11, which we were reading yesterday. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. So yeah, the fools who don't understand the transcendental nature of Krishna, they deride him. They mock him. In today's verse, those who are thus bewildered in that way that they cannot see Krishna, are attracted, so they are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So yeah, we see today a lot of atheism is rampant in this world. In the schools, we are taught about evolution theory, about impersonal ideas, that there is no higher force, that we are just a combination, like the Big Bang, that there was a Big Bang, and out of this Big Bang, this order came. This is their logic. This doesn't make any sense, but that's what they think. They think we came from simple life forms, chemicals, and that we evolved into these very special machines, which are called the human body. This human body is such a. When we can see how this body works, we can actually appreciate Krishna's magnanimity and Krishna's genius, how he created the digestive system, the respiratory system, and the lymphatic system, the blood flow. Everything this is a marvel. He's the greatest engineer. But the demons, they don't use their intelligence. The atheists, they don't use their intelligence to attain higher consciousness, to serve Krishna. They use their intelligence to build big skyscrapers, big arenas, so many material things. Like they make it very complicated. They're actually, as a human form of life, we have intelligence, and people sometimes we can see, wow, this intelligence, even though they are not using it for Krishna, it comes from Krishna, this quality, this intelligence. We can see how complex a building is, how much planning goes into it. Like the lights, the electricity system is actually very difficult to arrange all of that. And we think, oh, it's just a light switch, we can, and then there's light, but actually there's a whole system behind it. And people, there were great inventors who were behind this, but we understand that they don't use this knowledge to glorify Krishna. They use it to increase their material sense gratification, and that way they're binding themselves more and more. So yeah, I just had some notes I would like to share. All right, here. So yeah, we are forgetful of our eternal nature, of Krishna. We think we will be happy by sense gratification, but we have to understand by intelligence we need to fix ourselves in the understanding that we have to go back to Krishna. And this is possible in this age of Kali by chanting the holy names. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. In this age of Kali, the only way to attain the highest, or to go back to Godhead, is to chant the holy names, Hare Nama. And we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. This Mahamantra is non-different than Krishna. It is the sound form of Krishna. So this, just by hearing the Mahamantra every day, we can regain taste for the spiritual vibrations, and go back to Godhead. In Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami says in text 7, Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kintvadarada Nidham Khalu Seva Drushta Svadvikramad Bhavati Tadgadamula Hantri. So the transcendental names, character, pastimes and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of avidya, which is under ignorance, like the John, like although the, I don't know that verse how it goes. Although the tongue afflicted by the jaundice of avidya cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by chanting these names every day, we can regain our original consciousness and get rid of this material disease, spitopatapta, this jaundice. Jaundice is actually a disease where you cannot taste anything sweet. You taste sweet as sour, sour or bitter, yeah. So this jaundice, we are diseased with this jaundice of avidya, of ignorance. But Rupa Goswami so nicely, this is such a nice verse, so poetic. He says that simply by chanting these names every day, anudinam, we can get this consciousness back. So that's a very nice thing. And how do we chant these holy names? Because it's actually a very simple process, this chanting of Hare Krishna. We just have to chant and try to do it every day. But we also have to not commit the 10 offenses, which are to criticize the devotees, like to blaspheme the devotees, because the devotees are very dear to Krishna, and when we blaspheme the devotees, then Krishna isn't pleased by that. Just like if someone is very dear to us, if someone criticizes them, we are not pleased with that person. So similarly, we should not criticize the devotees. We should try to see good in them. Then the second one, we read these 10 offenses actually every morning. The second one is to consider the names of Krishna to be equal to the names of the demigods. So Krishna is the original person, and just like a just like a minister has, just like a king has different ministers under him to administer the different activities of the state. Similarly, Krishna, he gives his activities, he engages demigods to engage in different activities, like Vayu, this is the demigod of the wind, Agni of fire, Indra of the weather. So we should not think that the names of the demigods are equal to the name of Krishna. This is said. Then number 3 is to blaspheme the Vedic literatures in pursuit of the Vedic version. So we shouldn't blaspheme the Vedic literatures. This is the Vedas are non-different than Krishna, and if we criticize them, then this is a great offense. And the Vedas are there because that's what will give us intelligence to go back to Godhead. Because there are so many beautiful verses that give us the tattva tattva, the proper understanding, the siddhanta, because we might be otherwise bewildered if we don't read the Vedas properly. And also from a proper spiritual master, we have to understand the spiritual master has to come in the disciplic succession, a bona fide disciplic succession. Like here we have Srila Prabhupada, his guru, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, Gorkishore Das Babaji, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it goes all the way back to Krishna. So we have to understand, guru means he comes in proper disciplic succession and he doesn't change the knowledge. So then, offense number 4 is we shouldn't offend the guru. We shouldn't disobey the orders of the guru, because we take initiation of the guru. We put our there's a vow that's made, and if we break the vows or if we disobey the vows, then that's very offensive. We should keep our word, and the guru will not be happy as well if we if we offend him. Krishna is not happy. Then number 5, offense number 5, to consider chanting as imagination. Some Monday speculators have the idea that chanting is just, it's some, like scientists, they will say, it is just the sound vibration will affect you in this way, in that way, will affect your brain in that way, or it is just a placebo, they say. This is not proper understanding. This is actually very offensive. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is non-different than Krishna, and this has been established by all the acharyas. So we shouldn't commit this offense. Then number 6, to give a mundane meaning to the Maha Mantra. Again, like some people will say Ra means this, Ma means that, and they will give some impersonal meaning to it or whatever. They have all kinds of ideas. I don't even, this I don't know where they get this from, but it's not stated anywhere in Shastra, and they're just inventing their own concoction. And then number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. The holy name actually has the power to relieve us of all sinful activities. But if we continue on sinning, then this is offensive. Because the holy name, even if chanted once properly, then all the sins can be relieved. But if we go on sinning, then what is the point? Like, there's a specific faith in this world where they go to the place of worship on Sunday, and then they admit their sins, and then the next day they go again committing these sins again, and then every week like that the cycle continues. But we must understand we should stop sinful activity when we chant the holy name, when we start chanting the holy name. And in that way we can get full benefit of chanting the holy name, because Krishna will be pleased. Number 8, I think that it is karma kanda ritual, that by chanting the holy name we will get material benefit, that we do it, that is a karma kanda ritual. Most of the Vedas deal with karma kanda, with fruitive activities that we can perform to get material benefit. And actually the holy name is so powerful, it's called Chintamani, like a touchstone. So whatever you can use the holy name to get material benefit. It is whatever you desire, Chintamani stone. The Chintamani stone is a stone that makes your desires fulfilled. So the holy name is also called Chintamani. But we mustn't use the holy name for that. And if we think that the holy name is part of karma kanda, that's wrong. The holy name is not part of karma kanda. That's misconception. It's not the same. It's absolutely transcendental. 9, to instruct a faithless person. So we must not give the glories of the holy name to a faithless person who will only insult Krishna. That's important. I remember one time I was on the street distributing books. For 1 week we were distributing there, and 2 people approached me. They were of a particular kind of faith, and they believe in God, but they don't have a personal conception of God. So they asked me, who is God? And I told them, this Krishna here. This Krishna is a person, he's the highest of all. And they were becoming very offensive to Krishna. They were saying, how can you call this mundane man a God or something? They're becoming very offensive. So that's why it's important for us not to not to preach to them, to these envious people, because then we will also get affected by this by this interaction. So we must not do that. And then offense number 9 is to that we just did. Number 10 is to not have complete faith in the holy name, because whatever you do in life, if you don't have complete faith, you're not going to have any success. You know, if you don't have faith that you're gonna get a particular job, then you're not gonna attain it. And if you don't have faith in the holy name, if you don't understand the value of it, if we have still doubts, then we will not get benefit from it. And also remain material attachments. We should let go of our material attachments, of our intelligence situated in this material concept of life. We should give it up, even though it's difficult, because we're so attached. We've been millions of lives in this material world, but we should give this up. So in Krishna consciousness, we have to also control the mind. So there are very nice verses I would like to share. These verses are from the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is like we have the Bhagavad Gita. It's the philosophy of who God is, what is, who are we, the soul. And the Bhagavatam are all the pastimes of Krishna, actually. So I'm just gonna share. This one is. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. It's a literary form of Krishna. This the essence of the Vedas, basically. This one, Bhratrivyamenam tatadabhravhiryam upekshaya dheditam apramataha guror haresh charanopasanastro jahivyalikam swayamatma mosham. The uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O king, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Guror Haresh Charanopasanastro. Upasana Astra. So that's basically, Upasana is worship, and Astra, the weapon, like we have the Brahmastra, what was used in the Kurukshetra war. So here this Astra of service to Hari and to Guru and Hari. That's very nice words explain how to control the mind. Because if we have an uncontrolled mind, we will not be able to perform proper sadhana and be fixed in determination. And another verse is talks about the significance of this human life we got. We've been through so many species of life, and we finally attained a very exalted position of human birth, where we can understand the Absolute, where we can understand Krishna. Where's that verse? 5.5.1. So this is Rishabha talking to his sons. This is pastime in the Bhagavatam. Nayam deho deha bhajam niriloke kashtan kaman arhate vid bhujamye tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. Lord Rishabha told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form of life should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. So even the dogs and hogs, they have sense gratification. So we must use this life for tapudivyam. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. So I'd like to end on this note. If there are any questions, comments, remarks, then I'll gladly take them now. So, yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. In the verse here, it says that those who are bewildered are attracted by the demonic and atheistic views, and therefore their fruitive activities they're defeated. Right?
Yeah, so they obviously they're hankering after fruitive activities. They want to enjoy their senses, but even then they're it says moga jnana, moga karmano. So basically, the fruitive activities, they're not gonna they're gonna be baffled in fruitive activities because they will not accept the highest authority of Krishna. They are envious of Krishna, and they'll just descend into lower species of life, and they're not performing even karmakanda. So karmakanda is according to Vedic injunctions, and they're just whimsically performing, and that's why they commit a lot of sinful activity, and they're baffled in their fruitive activities. Yeah. If there's any other questions. All right. Yes, mother.
You were giving a story about a supporting story from book distributing.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, what is one of your favorite book distribution leelas?
Book distribution leelas. Let me think about it. I have had a lot of nice experiences on books, just like where you just meet a person just at the right time, where it's like the Super Soul was really, the Super Soul guided both of us to they can get, the person getting the book can get some spiritual knowledge, and that I mean, it's hard. I don't remember right now. Maybe a specific situation. Maybe sometimes you just meet the right person at the right time. They're so happy to get the book, and they don't even ask a lot. They just they're amazed. You give them, you show them the book, and they buy it directly, like as if they've been as if it's a long lost friend they're meeting again. But I remember like when we were in Manchester, we were just reading books, and just one father with his son, he just approached me, or I approached him, and directly was so enthusiastic. I would have never thought he would have taken a book, because usually people with children they're not so interested. But he came. He took 7 books, and he gave like 20 or something, like 7. He gave 20 for the 7 small books. So that was really amazing. I didn't understand it, but it's special. It's special, very special. So yeah. If there's any other questions, now Gaur Arati is going to start soon. So yeah, okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Shri Gaura Nitai ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Hare Krishna. We'll start the Gaura Arati now. The wordings are on the screen on the top right, and you can follow the lead singer. Thank you. Ki bajayo jayo Gaura Chandere Arati ko sobha. Jayo jayo Gaura Chandere Arati ko sobha. Vasa Chatradhara Nikate Advaita Shini Vasa Chatradhara Osirate Gorachan Ratna Simbasane Osirate Gorachan Ratna Simbasane Arati kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Arati kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Narari Adi Kori Chamar Dhulaya Narari Adi Kori Chamar Dhulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosadigaya Shankha baje ghanta baje baje kartala Shankha baje ghanta baje baje kartala